For more on the summit and what it means for you at home, let's bring in Florida Congresswoman Maria Salazar. Congresswoman, great to have you. You were at this summit when the president spoke this morning. You know, I know this is primarily about trying to keep Russia and China out of the Western Hemisphere, but it's also about stability and kicking these cartels out. This is the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, on what this region has been like and how it has to change. Let's listen here.
Our hemisphere has 1/8 of the population, yet 1/3 of the violent crime. There's a reason for that. America's retreat from protecting its citizens and the complacency of many neighbors in this hemisphere was a great betrayal. That's what it was, a great betrayal against our people and our nations.
So tell people at home, are these nations up to the task?
Oh, well, sorry, I didn't know that I was on the air. Well, and it's great what President Trump is doing, because basically he's sending a message not only to the cartels and to organized crime, but to the political elite, to the leaders, that the art of governance has to start now. The good governance has to begin in the Western Hemisphere. And I'm delighted, it's laudable what the president is doing after 30 years of United States not really paying attention to our backyard, that now he has brought all the leaders and has told them it's time for you to start working with the United States again. And I'm sure they're delighted, because Latin Americans love the United States. So it's a great move.
You know, the president has also spoken quite a bit about Cuba and how Cuba is next. Here he is. Let's listen.
What's happening with Cuba is amazing, and we think that we want to finish this one first, but that will be just a question of time before you and a lot of unbelievable people are going to be going back to Cuba. Hopefully not to stay. We want you back, and we don't want to lose you. They want to make a deal so badly, you have no idea.
You know, Congresswoman, you're part of this group on Capitol Hill that sent this letter to the administration alleging that Castro was the one who gave the order to shoot down those unarmed planes back in 1996, and asking the administration to look into criminal charges. So I guess my question for you is, should there be a total regime change in Cuba? Or should it look more like what happened in Venezuela with these criminal charges against Castro's family, and perhaps finding a way to get rid of the current president?
Well, these are two different scenarios completely. Venezuela had a working democracy until 25 years ago. Cuba has been in the hands of the worst revolution that the Western Hemisphere has ever seen for the last 65. Cuba is completely in shambles, like the president is saying. And I do believe that the leaders, or the Castro family, which are, you know, they are the ones ruling the island of Cuba, they are at some point understanding that the repressive apparatus cannot work anymore, because they don't have oil, they don't have an energy, they don't have water, they don't have food. And what Trump is doing right now is what JFK intended to do when he imposed that economic embargo on the island of Cuba back in 1961. Is that it was just on paper, but not in practice. So what Trump is doing is admirable in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, you know, following up on that, the Castro family, I don't think a lot of people understand, is still pretty influential when it comes to the military. And that's how you got to get in there and create some change. It's whoever controls the military controls Cuba. So what has to happen with the Castro? Do you think that the president can come to a deal with the family?
I have no doubt that at some point the people, remember that Raul Castro is 94 years old. So he's pretty much out. And it's his son and his grandson and some puppets that they have appointed. The reality is that it doesn't matter who is in control. It's that the repressive apparatus, like you said, the military controls the economy, controls everything. They will come to an understanding with the United States because they saw what happened in Venezuela. They're seeing what's happening in Iran, and they know they're next. And remember, Cuba is the mothership of evil in the Western Hemisphere. the Nicaragua Sandinista in Nicaragua and the Venezuela regime came from Cuba. They wrote the book on repression. So that's why their days are counted. Thank God.
Yeah, yeah. Finally, before I let you go, I have to ask you about the special.
I wanted to say that I represent I represent the Cuban exile community. I represent the city of Miami, and which is the largest Cuban exile community in the country. And I don't have to tell you the happiness that we are experiencing because Trump dared to do what no other president has done, which is to put America first. And America first is ridding Venezuela and getting rid of Iran.
Very quickly here.
That's all part of the America first. Yes.
Yeah, very quickly here, Congresswoman, before I let you go, Kristi Noem has become now the special envoy of this Shield of the Americas mission. She said this on X: the Western Hemisphere is absolutely critical for U.S. security. In this new role, I will be able to build on the partnerships and national security expertise I forged over the last 13 months as Secretary of Homeland Security. With everything that has come out in the last 48 hours or so, do you think that she is up to this job?
Well, that depends on the president. I think the one who's really leading this charge is Donald Trump, that every leader on that in that meeting is looking up to the president. And if President Trump has decided that she is the person who is going to be his spokesperson, it's fine. And I can help him as well. It's just that the momentum that he is creating, it doesn't really matter who is the appointee, is that he is creating the spirit in the Western Hemisphere for us to work with the United States once again.
Yes, and you definitely felt that energy in the room today with all those world leaders. Congresswoman Salazar, thank you very much for joining us. Great to see you.
My pleasure. Sure.